You know the story we've all been told, right? Go to college, land a good job, stick with one company, and then boom, you retire at 65. It was this big promise of stability. But what if that promise is completely broken? What if that whole model is just gone?
Okay, so let's really get into it, because that is the huge question we're tackling today. The world of work is going through this massive shakeup. And I promise, by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what's driving it, and more importantly, how to protect your own income before it's too late. And look, this isn't just a vibe or a feeling. The numbers actually back this up. Think about the American dream. The whole idea that if you just work hard, you'll be successful. Well, a staggering 70% of people now say that dream just isn't true anymore. That fundamental deal we all thought we had, it's falling apart, and everybody's starting to notice. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why that dream is fading. Then we'll meet the new player on the field, AI. After a quick trip back in time, we'll dive into something called the portfolio career, and we'll wrap up with a practical toolkit you can literally start using today. Okay, so let's just start with the hard truth, shall we? That traditional job, the one that was supposed to be predictable, secure, well, for millions of people, it's just not delivering on that promise anymore. I mean, the signs are literally everywhere you look. In the US, employers just slashed over 150,000 jobs in 1 month. Over in the UK, mass layoffs are up 5% in a single year. And for so many of us, our paychecks just aren't stretching as far as they used to. It's no wonder people are grabbing short-term gigs and side hustles just to make ends meet.
And let's be clear, this is not some temporary blip. The World Economic Forum is predicting that a mind-boggling 83 million jobs could be displaced worldwide in just the next few years. That is not a small number. It's a sign of a massive, fundamental shift, and something new is pouring gasoline on the fire. Which brings us to our next point, the AI competitor. We're talking about the biggest shakeup to work since the Industrial Revolution. Seriously, there's a brand new kind of worker out there, and it is changing everything.
Just think about this for a second. The competition has changed. You're not just up against other people for a job anymore. Nope, you are now competing against an AI that works 24/7, never gets tired, doesn't ask for a salary or a pension, and never ever takes a holiday. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, that's just for factory jobs, you really need to think again. We're talking thousands of white-collar, professional jobs that have already been hit. Big companies are pouring money into AI specifically to reduce their number of employees. Even have CEOs openly saying that AI is already handling a huge chunk of the work. So the urgency here is absolutely real. Check this out. The World Economic Forum predicts that 2/5, that's 40%, of the core skills we all use today will be disrupted within the next 3 years. The ground is literally shifting beneath our feet as we speak. Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty terrifying, right? But here's the thing, and this is important. We have been here before. As a species, we have totally been through this. Big technological disruptions are not a new thing. Just look at history. It shows this repeating pattern. Way back in the 16th century, Queen Elizabeth I was worried the knitting machine would lead to mass starvation. Fast forward to 1900, and there were 4 times as many factory weavers as there were in 1830. When farms automated, people didn't starve, they just moved into brand new industries. And I mean, think about it. The job YouTube creator wasn't even a concept 20 years ago, and now it's a multi-billion-dollar part of the economy. So yes, it's true. Technology gets rid of some jobs, but it always creates new ones. Remember that World Economic Forum report? The one that predicted 83 million jobs lost? Well, that same report also predicts 69 million new jobs will be created. It's a huge reshuffle. The tricky part is we don't really know what those new jobs are going to look like yet. And that uncertainty means we can't just sit back and wait to see what happens. No way. We have to take control. And that's where we need to completely rethink what a career even is. Which brings us to something called the portfolio solution. So what on earth is a portfolio career? Well, think of it like this. You diversify your income streams the same way you diversify an investment portfolio. So maybe you're a graphic designer. Instead of one 40-hour-a-week job, you work 20 hours for an agency, you do 10 hours of freelance work for startups, and you sell design templates on the side. See? If one of those streams dries up, you're not totally wiped out. It's about building your own safety net with lots of different threads. And this isn't some crazy niche idea. It's a trend that's been growing for a while now. In the UK, for example, the number of people working for themselves has jumped way up. It went from about 1 in 12 workers back in 1975 to almost 1 in 7 right before the pandemic. So this shift towards being more self-reliant, it's already well underway.
And the benefits here are huge. I mean, the financial security part is obvious, right? If one client disappears, you've got others. But it's also about flexibility. You get to design your work to fit your life, not the other way around. And that is a massive, massive boost for job satisfaction. You get to be the architect of your own career, mixing and matching your passions instead of being stuck in just one box.
Okay, so this all sounds good, but how do you actually do it? Let's get practical. We're going to walk through a simple 4-part toolkit to help you build a career that can withstand pretty much anything. All right, here are the 4 pillars. Number 1, invest in skills, not in job titles. Number 2, build a personal brand. Number 3, embrace technology. And number 4, and this one's key, double down on your humanity. Let's break each of those down. First up, invest in skills. Look, job titles come and go. The real secret sauce here is something called skill stacking. It's not about being the best at one thing. It's about being really good at a unique combination of things. For example, a good software developer is valuable, for sure. But a software developer who can also write amazing marketing copy and understands how users think, that person is basically irreplaceable. Your real power lies in that unique mix. Second, build a personal brand. And please, forget the whole influencer stereotype. This is just about being visible as a professional. Here's a super simple, concrete action you can take twice a week, just for 15 minutes. Go on LinkedIn and leave a thoughtful comment on a post from someone you respect in your field. I don't mean great post. I mean a real insight. That simple habit makes you visible, shows you know your stuff, and builds your network, one smart comment at a time.
Third, you've got to embrace technology. AI is not the enemy here. It's a tool that gives you leverage, but the key is to use it as a kind of junior partner. So for example, have an AI summarize a really long report. Then your job, the really valuable human part, is to look at that summary, critique it, find the little details it missed, and use your experience to figure out the strategy. You're augmenting your brain, not outsourcing your thinking.
And that leads us perfectly into the last and maybe the most important strategy of all. Double down on being human. This quote from Harvard Business Review nails it. Your personality is now your advantage. Think about it. AI is trained on everything that's already happened. But your weird ideas, your unique experiences, the conversations you have, that's all brand new data that AI has no access to. Your humanity is not a soft skill anymore. It is your single most valuable economic asset. So yeah, the end of the traditional career path can seem a little scary, but it is also an incredible opportunity. It's a chance to design a work life that is more secure, way more flexible, and honestly, a lot more you. By building a portfolio of skills, creating multiple streams of income, and leaning into what makes you human, you can get so far ahead of the curve. The world of work has changed. It's a done deal. The only real question left is, have you?